Okay, in this video I'm going to say more about Trish. She's 29 and her husband's Connor, he's 30. And they have 2 kids together. Well, one day this is not the first video on this, but this is adding to it. One day he just disappeared. And basically that's what happened. And, she doesn't know, the law enforcement doesn't know what happened. And they're still looking for him. And in the meanwhile, she has to take a position, a job. And she had been a stay-at-home mom, so she took a position, and her mother decided, her mother's name is Bonnie, she's 51, she decides she's going to come and help her out. So Bonnie lives in the big city. This is in Victorson County, Texas, and she's going to come and help her, take care of the girl, take care of the daughters, and while Trish works. And Trish works a job. She takes basically whatever she can get, but most of it is a second shift. And what she does is she works for a delivery service. And her second shift is from lunch onward until she gets finished. And so, okay, now, her mother lived, she actually has property in Victorson County, not where Trish lives, but she does own, have property, but her parents are still alive and they've kept it in their name and their names. And it's her inheritance. So the inheritance went to her parents, but her parents, Bonnie's parents can give it to her, but they haven't. Now her husband, Steve, he does not know that. They have kept that from him, and which is the habit of people that live in Victorson County and own property. It's like I said, it's a habit. It's just what they do, because they never know, if the people that are descendants of the original settlers, original founders, and all that of the county and the towns, they can buy property there. But people that they marry, if they're from outside, they can't. Or if they're from a town inside Victorson County, that's called the Outlaws. This is the name of the town. It's got a history. And so she just kept it to herself. And when she came, she told her husband that she was going to go, no matter what he said. She's very theatrical. Rather, her behaviors are quite histrionic. And she's a little on the wild side, the wild hair, the thick makeup, the lots of bling, and dresses kind of inappropriate. I'm just going to put it that way. And but one thing that she prides herself on, and she has built her reputation on, is how she is a great mother and great, she's a wonderful mother and a wonderful grandmother to these kids. So she'll do anything for them, and she keeps up that reputation, doing such things. Okay. Now, after a while, that her husband, Trish's husband, just was missing and without a trace. He had his own construction company. They basically were into the woodwork and making desks, bookshelves, these kinds of things. And his company just basically came to a halt. He was not there to organize it. He did not have a manager at the time, and it just basically came to a halt. So she didn't know how to do it. So she, like I said, went to work, and she to pay the mortgage and for his business and so forth. And where it was, because she kept holding on to the hope that he would come back. Now she had to pay the rent, but he had loaned money from their mortgage to buy things for his job. That's what I meant to say. And so she had to keep it up, paying the mortgage and what he owned and where he had stored it and all that. So she had a lot that she needed, and it was really getting to her, because she was doing delivery jobs, and the woman that she was doing these for was just a real tyrant. She was just, she didn't give people enough time, and then she'd call them and ask why they weren't done, and so on and so forth. And where she was delivering, she didn't earn much in tips, but that was the only job she could do at this point. Okay, and as far as the rest, Bonnie, she had her own business. She could do it from over the phone. She had in the big city, she had her own business, and she did, she was the owner, and she did have a manager, so she just did everything she needed over the phone. Once she got to Trish's house, and started taking care of the girls, and after a while, Trish could do more than just the one shift, and the second shift she just worked all day as much as she could to pay. And Bonnie helped her out a bit by, doing things as much as she could, as much as she would, I should say. She spent her extra money on things like buying groceries, buying the girls, new clothing, keeping up the house and everything. And that released some of the pressure from Trish. And she also would, do things like pay up on the electricity bill and, water and gas and all that. And she helped out, and so that was good. But there were these, she and her mom. Her mom, like I said, her behaviors were kind of histrionic, and Trish was educated. She kind of knew about, her mom wasn't, that great as she put out to be, put it out to the world. And Bonnie got really interested in what was going on with the local, it's a social media platform that where they are at the moment is in the place called the Outlaws at the moment, but they did move. But she gets interested in the that social media platform, which when you are a resident, when you live other parts of the county, they don't get to use it. But that's because the other part of the county, they had their own, and they kicked those people out, and they wouldn't let them, some of them out, and some of them they wouldn't let in. So overall, they don't, share, in other words. But anyway, Bonnie gets really interested in what's going on in it, and they do things like, you can do stuff that's in writing and groups and forums and these kinds of things. Plus, you can make videos, which Bonnie thinks it's a good idea if she does that. She really loves to be on camera. So she just starts making videos, and she knows, Trish has a limit. She says nothing. Her grandchildren are not going to be on those videos, and she nor her grandchildren, and that she can't disclose their names, and she can't, say where she lives, exactly this kind of thing. So, it is Trish's home, and Bonnie will step over boundaries if she feels like it. But with this, that she has built her reputation on being such a great mother and grandmother, she says okay for the moment. But that's a little bit of an intro to what happens there. But there is more of a story. Hopefully, I'll put it in order about what kind of job Trish and Bonnie get. And from there, where it goes from there. Okay, there's more to this story, of course. It's a series. It's fictional. All the videos that are about Victorson County and other ones on this channel, unless otherwise stated or obvious, like, otherwise stated. If it's otherwise stated, they're not fictional. But the videos on Victorson County, they are fictional, pure fiction. Read the disclaimer. It has a disclaimer in there about that's just basically the standard disclaimers for fictional stories. These are series, plural, and then they come together as one. But like Victorson County, Texas Victorson is fictional. Texas, of course, we know is not fictional. So things that are obvious like that. Texas is not fictional. The United States is not fictional. But Victorson County and all the towns inside of it and the people, they're fictional. And the big city, I'll never say what name it is because it's fictional. So anyway, that's enough for this one. I'm going to do more. Talk to you on another video.